All right, good afternoon, and welcome to week 3 of our special series, Empowered by Authenticity, featuring Krystalore Crews, my coach, and helping me through a 6-week shred, not just physical, but emotional, and all of the things that come with trying to really get yourself back together. I'm watching my words wisely there as we're out on social platforms. But Crystal, hi.
Hello, hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy Thanksgiving Monday.
It is a thankful Monday.
It is a
Gotta
thankful Monday. Yeah, every Monday should be thankful Monday. We shouldn't just save it for one Monday of the year.
love it. Every day should be a thankful day.
It's true. I happened to catch your Facebook Live today, and I loved how you were talking about your gratitude moments, and that was just such a fun way to kick off the week and hear that. So thank you for bringing that forward.
Yeah, thank you. I've always said, like, choose your tude, right? Choose your
Yeah,
attitude. And I love a play on words. So having an attitude of gratitude is just a really great way to kind of reframe and reset because especially in the holidays, like there's so many people that, I mean, even in the last 24 hours, like there's just a lot to complain about and there's a lot to
yeah,
like, I can't believe this person, that person, I got to hang out with this person. I got to see this person. I'm like, yeah, it's icky. Like, why can't we all have an attitude of gratitude?
I
And if
know.
we can wake up and have life in our lungs, then, there's a lot to be grateful for and a lot to look forward to. And so being more mindful, I think, is a really great practice.
Yeah, it's funny. I went to yesterday was birthday celebrations at church, which I'm happy to sponsor and do every month. And it was the one thing we talked about during service was uh, rituals. So, what are your rituals that you do? Either in the morning or before bed. It was funny. The pastor in How to Know You Live in Western New York. She was able to tie in our bills rituals with what we do. So but it was the same thing, reminding yourself on a daily basis and centering your heart in a place of gratitude and grace as you start each day. And I think that's been something that definitely during this 6 weeks you've helped to remind the group of. So I'm very fortunate to be a part of that group. And I think there's trickle down effects in your life when you walk into a day with a heart full of love and grace and gratitude versus getting tied up in those moments of stress. Like I know I communicated I had last week. So it's just such a different way to handle imbalance.
Mm. Yeah, and I think thank you for sharing that. I think
Mhm.
it's easier said than done sometimes because
Yeah.
stressors and pressures and it's just so easy to get in that negativity, right? Especially if you're around people that are negative too.
Hmm.
To really stay true, like I always say, we need to be unstoppable, unshakable, unbreakable so that we're not swayed by other people's energy, right? And
Yep.
so it's a practice and we're not going to get it right every day, but I think really being mindful and being present to our own needs and our body and our heart and our mind and just being grounded in today and in the presence. Today's presence is your presence is a gift, right?
Yep.
And we have to kind of retrain our brain to be out of the negativity and try to like stay focused so we don't have all the noise and all the chatter, right? And so it's hard. I just want to share that if for those people that are
Yeah.
struggling, it sounds really pretty, but this is tough stuff. And that's why
Yes.
we have a beautiful, you know, group to be able to do this and navigate because even sometimes the people in our house, and I don't know if you struggle with this, but people in our house, people at work, people at our church, like they're not living your life. And so sometimes their energy can kind of drag us down if we let it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's funny that you say that because especially the past, it was my mindset going into 24. I didn't want to have that energy consume and be a part of, right? So now
Mm.
I've gotten to the point where when it gets to be too much, I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to engage with this. and you feel lighter. You feel like you can, if it's not weighing you down, it's just helping you. And that helps in all areas of your life, right? Not just nutrition and fitness, but your mindset, being able to hit your goals, being able to think forward. When you have that negativity dragging you down, where are you supposed to go? That's just not a great place for you to be able to succeed and grow.
Yeah. What comes to mind was screaming is the B word. The B
Ah,
boundaries, right? Boundaries is a huge
yeah,
part of the program. And that's actually our capstone of week 6. We're going to get into boundaries, but we must
love it.
practice that as we, what Trent Shelton actually is one of my mentors. He writes, I have it right here, so I'm just going to share it.
Oh,
Protect your peace, right? And it might be a little bit blurred, but my apologies. But Protect Your Peace, he wrote this last book. It was a huge bestseller. Protect Your Peace has been a beautiful gift to be able to say, you know what is going to bring me peace? And almost have this energy force field of like a shield where it's like nothing's going to burst my
yeah.
bubble, right? And so it's a practice to be able to understand that our body can be very permeable and can be very vulnerable to other people's energies. And so really having that attitude of gratitude and protecting your peace, and not in a cocky or like condescending way, but just really implementing and enforcing some healthy boundaries, especially during the holiday season and
Yeah.
political season. And everyone's, even with the NFL, like that can be polarizing in itself, right? There's only one team, but anyways.
Yeah. No, that's so true. That's so true. And so, yeah, I would say during this third week, to that, it was better. I'm behind one workout and the stretching, so I would say that that's better. I did try to put up lunchtime boundaries for myself, where I tried to get the workouts done more at lunchtime. So I had been trying to move them earlier in the day. Um, I would love to do them live. It's so funny. I've got so set in my ways of that morning routine and that grounding me. And I've come to find that my kryptonite is Tuesday. Monday is great. Like, it's so funny. Most people are like, I can't do Monday. Monday is spectacular. I do it, no problem. Tuesday is when things typically go off rails. So tomorrow I'm gonna make sure I get things done because it's gearing up to be a busy day. But that's okay. If I can get this Tuesday, that would be a huge milestone because it really feels like Tuesday is my my kryptonite when it comes to actually getting my workouts in.
Okay. And so what happens? Like, is it because you do them at lunch where it just things kind of get shifted, or what happens?
As far as like getting them done this week, I think it was the shift in the time.
Mhm.
Days are so busy that and Fridays I've started to not work in the afternoons. So at noon I'm trying to really shut down. Um, this week it was probably closer to 2 o'clock than it was noon, but I'll take it as a success. But that helps, right? Because I've got that time then that I'm free. But every other day, it's leave the office and just go run, and I'm not leaving the office until probably about 6 o'clock. So Mondays, that's fine because my husband's already gone, so I could do my workouts after work. He has a evening event, but Tuesdays are just where things seem to go off rails. So I didn't protect Tuesday's lunch. I can't remember, something came up, but the rest of the week it was just okay. This is a good time. It's also an energizing moment during the day where you've sat for a few hours. You're going to go sit again, but at least you've had some movement and you. It's almost like you enter that second half of the day with clarity, right? Like you're like, oh, buzz, my mind is going again. So
I
yeah.
love that. Yeah, so it's a fine balance, right? Because a
Mhm.
lot of people in our community love the morning workouts, right? Because they get
Yep.
them done out of their way, and then nothing is going to stop them the rest of the
Yep.
day. And you can start that energy. And then there's some people that do what you're calling lunchtime crunch time,
Yep.
right? So and making sure that that's your you time, right? And so what happens is when we elect for that, we just have to stick to it and hold true to that boundary because you're worth
Yep.
it,
Yep.
right? So what are we going to do for tomorrow to set ourselves up for success? Because tomorrow's Tuesday,
Well,
right?
tomorrow's
Yes.
Tuesday, and it's a crazy day because we both have full work. We've got to go get my daughter because she gets kicked out of the dorms for Thanksgiving break, so we've got to go get her.
Okay.
Um, so one of us has to leave at 3. So I think if I can again use that lunchtime, I think I'll be okay. I If I'm not getting it done at lunch or within that 11 to 1 time frame, I worry about my Tuesday. So this week I think my main goal needs to be to get that Tuesday workout done because it really has been my downside.
What would happen if you maybe do the live on Tuesday?
Hmm. It would
Asking.
actually it would actually be the best thing, right? Because again, that seems to be the day that gets away from me. So the worst thing that would happen is I'd give up a little bit of my slow moving morning. So I'd have to prepare for that tonight by going to bed a little bit earlier. Maybe getting stuff set aside. So I definitely would have to set myself up tonight for success for tomorrow. But we could give it a try.
Oh, you're in charge.
All right, I'm gonna give it a try.
Okay. Let's see how you do. Maybe,
All right.
sometimes we got to trick our brain, right? Just to
Yeah.
say, all right. And if what you've been doing isn't working, sometimes we got to make small shifts, right?
Yeah.
And so,
Mhm.
and maybe just that little bit of a sacrifice might be enough fuel to kind of kick you back into gear for the final second half. We're in the halftime report.
I
So
just can't even believe it.
I know. I can't believe the time flies when we're having fun. So yeah, let's see. So we missed one workout and one stretch.
Yep.
Okay. We have a good plan for tomorrow, we think. Let's see how we do.
Yep.
What do you think your score was this last week?
Uh, Probably about a 4.5. I could have done, but I really feel bad that I missed these workouts. It just, I know it's one, but it's still, it's disappointing. Now, I will say this though, every day I did get out with the puppies. So I did at least a half an hour with them this week. On Saturday, I actually did probably closer to an hour. I broke it into twos.
Awesome.
Mostly so that they would sleep while we were gone and out to dinner and not cause Harry Carey in the house, but
Okay.
um, but I will say I did stay consistent on that, which, is positive, but the other thing I do have this upcoming week is the turkey trot. So I've got my 5K on Thursday morning, which I sponsored this year, so my company and podcast name are on the back of T-shirts, and for some reason, that's just super exciting to me.
Oh, well, let's do a quick shout out for anybody that's running the turkey trot and you see the powered by authenticity on the back of a shirt and you are here because of that. Welcome to the party. This is a great
Yeah.
place to be.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's exciting. So
Yes.
any guidance for me going into that race on Thursday?
Oh, well, I will say that our workouts are really great to for supporting our running muscles, right?
Mhm.
Supporting our core, our upper body, our posture. So there's a couple things that I would recommend. Because you didn't do the stretch yet, I would recommend catching up and doing the stretch. That would be a
Right.
really great tip to double up one of the days. Maybe the week before or the day before, maybe Wednesday,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
Tomorrow or Wednesday. Tomorrow's going to be a crazy day for you. So let's get at least get tomorrow's workout in tomorrow. And then let's get Wednesdays in. And maybe you do your stretch on Wednesday morning
Mhm.
as part of your mindful morning. And that'll be the day before the race or even the morning of the race, depending on
Yeah.
how late the race starts. So maybe doing that stretch and catching up that morning as part of your pre-race, that would be really great because it really kind of stretches everything, our legs, our hips, our
Yep.
arms, and it was a beautiful it was a gratitude stretch too. So that might be a really great way to start the day. So that's tip number one. Number two, so as a runner, our posture is so important, right? So
Mhm.
what I would recommend is I always say have your open posture. So if you want to just do this with me real quick, I have little Diego, so I'm going to put him down. If you want to, I think he
Aw. Hi,
cameo.
Diego.
Go. All right, so we're going to put him down. All right, so hopefully I don't run him over with my chair. Okay, we're good. So, so our posture is important, right? As a runner, one of the things that
Yep.
we want to make sure we do is our shoulders are up and down and away from our ears. Many rows, if you notice, a lot of runners like kind of run with
Yep.
their they hunch over, and that's what's so great about the 6 week shred and the work that we do in the Cruise Beyond Limits world. It helps our postures, our upper body is really strong, right? So keeping the shoulders away from our ears, opening up our chest, and guess what? We get to breathe better because of that. And when
Yeah.
we're more relaxed and if we can just really shake out our arms. So in the first mile or so, I would recommend just like really being intentional with opening up our chest and then just shaking out the arms so we're not so tense, right?
Mhm. Yep.
Because the adrenaline and the excitement, you're like, right? So really just shaking it out is really important. So staying loose. And I'll say, like, throughout the race, if you can, maybe every 20 minutes or so, just shake it out. Just like give yourself a little shake out, right? And then
Yeah.
get back to it. So that's number one, like really making sure our shoulders are relaxed and our jaw is relaxed too. So we're not so clenched. All right. And then the next one is our chin. So if you're going to hear my angelic voice on Turkey Trot Day or on any race day, for those of you who are out there, chin up, buttercup. Okay, so chin up, buttercup. So your chin should be parallel to the ground. All right, so we want it at you want your chin straight up. So if you were to think of your chest open, your shoulders away from your ears, and your chin parallel to the ground, that means your eye gaze should not be down, right? Because we can't
Yep.
breathe. So with your
Yep.
chin up, buttercup, your eye gaze should be above the tree line. So I want you to practice that when you go outside, maybe when you go to walk the pups later, okay? So look above the tree line, and that should be the appropriate alignment of your chin. All right, with your shoulders away from your ears, chin up, buttercup, eye gaze straight up above the tree line. So that'll keep your posture open. And
Mhm.
guess what? You get to see the beauty of everything that's out there. So often as a runner, I've run 26 marathons in a 50-mile race. Like I've seen so many runners and they're like down and you can't
Yeah.
even look at you because they're just so focused on the ground and what's in front of them and their negative thoughts that are inside their head. But if you can just have that open heart and that open attitude of gratitude, looking above the tree line, seeing what's possible, connecting with other people, and talk about that energy force field, right? The running community is so powerful. So get out there, make someone smile and be open, say hello, say happy Thanksgiving, right? Like chin up, buttercup. I've said that so many times during races. So that would be my second tip. And then the
Yep.
third one that I will just share real quick. As a running coach, these are the really good foundations. So I'm giving you a crash course.
Thank you.
So the other thing, y'all, I'm in my PJs, so no fancy studio here. So if you want to make sure your hips are underneath, your your hips are underneath your shoulders. So
Mhm.
especially as women, we stick our butt out, right? So if you were to take your four fingers right now, if you were to stand up, put your four fingers on the top of your butt and just like tuck your hips under just a little bit, making sure your hips are underneath, tucked under, and then zipping up a little bit so that your core is engaged. It will take less pressure off your lower back. And that way you can be more like a gazelle, like really
Yeah.
keeping your feet under you and your hips tucked under, shoulders away from your ears, and chin up, buttercup.
That's funny. I'm gonna hear you all race.
Uh-huh.
And you're so right about the community. It's so during the runs, it's I always share the one story. We were doing a 5K in downtown Buffalo, and this one guy and I kept pacing each other, right? Like I'd be in front, then he'd be in front. It was great. We were just motivating each other, and we got to the finish line, and we both looked at each other, again, complete strangers, but we both looked at each other and were like, we got this, we got this. We high-fived, we went over the finish line, and high-fived again. And it's just those moments that like the community is so strong and it's so amazing. And it's kind of like I'm seeing on the community chats for your crew is everybody's so warm and so engaging, and that just motivates you to keep going. So it's fun to find these pockets of like-minded folks too to help keep you motivated and going. So it's fun.
Yes, I love that. And everyone's running their own race. And I think this is really
Yeah.
important as we go back to the attitude of gratitude, right? Everyone is running their own race and everyone is navigating this difficult thing called life. And I think sometimes there's a lot of judgment out there, especially for those people that are just getting started, right?
Mhm.
And I hear it all the time, like, Crystal, I can't run with you. Like, I've never run a race before. I'm just a
Yeah.
walker. I'm so slow. I won't be able to keep up. I'm like, no, you have to start, right? And I will not judge you. Someone that is on your team, that's in your corner, that is further along than you, is not going to judge you. So having that attitude of gratitude and cheering someone else on, even though they're walking or if they're just getting out there,
Yep.
or you know what, I've heard this a lot too, a lot of judgment of people judging people starting in January, getting to the gym, like, like, oh, there they are. They, like, it's just, if I just want to remind you, like, just to see when you started something, right?
Mhm.
When you first started something, you weren't good at it when you first started.
Right.
So we're human beings. We're meant to connect. We're not meant to do life alone. And if you see someone out there just starting or just trying and getting out there and giving it their best shot, and maybe it's the turkey trot is their first attempt at anything, for a race, a 5K or a walk or a run or anything, like, or if it's their first time in the gym or they're just coming into our community, that's why we have such a warm and welcoming community to meet you where you're at. And
Yeah.
so have that attitude of gratitude, and you never know whose life you'll be changing by making them smile today.
I love that. And it's so funny. I know some people are like, "Oh, it's going to take me if I tried, it would take me an hour and a half to do that 5K." I'm like, "Go do it anyways." So it
Yeah,
takes you an hour and a half. So the traffic's moving in. It doesn't matter. Go across the finish line. Like, because mentally that puts you in such a positive place that you want to keep going. You want to go get better. And I'm just I love I love the relationships and the discussion. And you're right. A smile can change somebody's life, and you may not even know it. Those moments of just saying hello and you're doing a great job, keep it up. That can be so impactful to somebody who's at that line of, you know, just being sheer out, from a depression perspective or just not in a great state. Just hearing a little bit of somebody provide positive reinforcement can just be such a life altering opportunity for both you and the other person.
exactly. And yeah, you just never know what people are going through and growing
Mhm.
through, what type of diagnoses, what type of
Yeah.
grief people are, why they're out there. And, your health, and my community is called Your Health is Your Wealth, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And so sometimes people just need that extra little nudge to say, you know what, I'm worth it. It's worth it. Let's be stronger than yesterday. Let's get back out there.
yep,
Healing is possible, recovery is possible, connection is possible. Cruising beyond limits, right? Proving the
mhm,
doctor's wrong is possible. All the things, right? And
yep.
so just one step at a time. And so I just appreciate your heart, and I'm wishing you the best. You don't need luck because you're prepared and you're ready, and you're going to get out there and just make people smile and make yourself smile, triumphant. And oh, one other tip:
Yeah,
let's practice how you're going to cross that finish line. So, what are you going to do with your hands? Like, what are you going to do?
I usually am like, "Ah."
Both hands in there. You're going to do
I'm
one.
like,
Go.
"Woohoo!"
Okay.
Yeah, my brother calls me the woohoo girl because 'cause I'm always like, "Woohoo, let's party."
Yes. Okay. All right. So, we're
Yeah,
going to practice that every single day this week. So, when you do your Tuesday shred, because you will,
yep,
you'll be like, woohoo! And then Wednesday, we're going to do our Wednesday shred, and we're going to go, woohoo. And when we do our stretch, we're going to have an attitude of gratitude. And then we're going to go, woohoo, woohoo. And then on Thursday, it's like, I've been here before, right?
I know, I can't wait. Yes, it's exciting. So awesome. And I'm trying to focus my nutrition so to make sure I'm geared up. So for lunches this week, I've prepared some salmon bowls. So it's some salmon with rice and then a coleslaw. So a little bit heavier carb than I normally would with the rice, but just trying to use it for fuel for this week. Breakfasts are well, this morning was like pea meal bacon and grapefruit, so that was fine. Otherwise, it would be oatmeal, but really just trying to make sure hydration and fueled from a turkey trot perspective for Thursday.
Good, good, good. Yeah, I know last week was all about nutrition in the Shred program, but
Yep,
real quick, just quick tip, nothing new, right?
yep,
Nothing
yep.
new this week. No, not a lot of spicy foods. Don't try sushi for the first time. Whatever, like if you're used to eating salmon, great.
Yep,
If you're used to eating pea meal, awesome. Definitely stay
yep,
hydrated. I always have the 72-hour rule. So how you feel today is a result of the last 72 hours of your nutrition, your sleep, your hydration, and your movement. So those are the four non-negotiables. So sleep, hydration, nutrition, and movement. And so how you feel today is a combination of what you've been doing in the last 72 hours in each of those areas. So
mhm.
today is 72 hours out, right? For
It
Thursday.
is.
So
Yep,
everything you do today will set you up for success come race day.
perfect, perfect.
Mhm.
So far, so good. So I will look at that glass of wine tonight and decide whether or not I'm going to have it. Probably should not.
Well, you have my angelic voice. You feel free to message me anytime as your accountability. Whatever you need, you get to make your own choices and
Yeah,
no judgment either way, right? But being mindful, like we said in
yeah,
the attitude of gratitude earlier, just being mindful and being present in our decisions so we're not rushing through things
yeah.
and backwards planning like you're doing, which I love these weeks because it's really like a game plan. And we're using the
It
Bills,
really
and
is.
we had
Yeah,
a we had a bye week this week, right? But we're getting back in the game this weekend,
yeah,
and so creating that backwards plan to set us up for success is so important. And having the accountability and having this conversation already puts you in the driver's seat and taking on this week like the boss that you are.
yay, yay. Well, I'm excited. And then Thursday for a great big Thanksgiving dinner, thanks to producer Ken. So that'll be fun.
Yay!
Yay.
Awesome.
All
Well,
right.
a great week, and I'm excited for you. Can't wait to hear and see all the awesome pictures as your finish line, your woohoo finish line.
I will have somebody find me on and get a woohoo picture.
Yes. Do not no shame in that game, right? Hey,
Yeah.
take my picture, right? Don't worry about it. Everyone, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be fun. Yay.
Yes.
Well, I can't believe that next week will be week 4 already. So I know this weekend I plan to go back into meal prep to get prepared again for next week. I'm trying to also because we're entering this crazy time. Like before we go out to eat, I'm trying to look at menus and devise what I'm going to have in my brain, and focus on that aspect as well. And if we just get past this Tuesday live, we'll be feeling pretty good.
You got it. Yeah, and so just real quick there, this week is all about confidence. So we're going to be doing some mindful practice with confidence. So one of the things that is important is recognizing what brings you confidence. So what do you think brings you confidence?
Mm, so that's a tough question actually to face. I think I feel confident in so this is a tough one for me to answer because I think my confidence in some aspects has taken a hit lately. I think that I was hoping that come November of 2024, I'd be a little bit further with some things in my professional aspect that I am that take longer to probably curate than what I was hoping. So it's funny. It's so funny because this morning I was like, I'm good at this. So why am I not, why is it bothering me that it's taking so long? And for me, that's pivoting more from the day-to-day technical things and more to the speaking and career that I want to, and monetizing the podcast and those types of things. And part of it is just having the confidence to go ask, hey, would you like to be a sponsor of the podcast? But there's something that, like, I feel like my brain has always been programmed to say, don't, why are you should never ask for that type of thing. But truly, that's how you go places. And so it's so funny that you say it, because truly, between yesterday's church service and then just things that were kind of clicking this morning, I'm like, I need to get back my confidence. Like, what happened in the past couple of weeks that just, made me think otherwise? And nothing. The answer is nothing other than what kind of was happening here. But these last couple of weeks of really focusing in on myself during this process really has me thinking, and, wanting to just basically, just go do, just be the person that you are. You're good. You've got experience. People value that experience. Go ask them if they want to hear about it.
Mhm.
So I don't think I really answered your question, but it's just very funny timing that question, that you posed that question to me.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate you, and we don't have a script, right? So it's just comes in. So I appreciate your vulnerability and your share. I think this is totally natural, right?
Yep.
And especially me as a speaker and as an author, and getting my message out to the world. This confidence thing and visibility has been a big challenge to overcome, and it's been a
Yep.
mountain to climb. And I never feel like I'm doing enough, or
Yeah.
it's 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 an interesting space. And so one of the things that one of my mentors had shared with me is that every day that you are not putting your message out to the world, every day that you are not speaking, every day that you are not sharing, every day that you are not asking, you are robbing the people that need to hear exactly the message that you have, the God's given gift that you have, the one that you and only you have. And so the more you step into that, knowing that you're a caring, loving, giving soul, you want to make an impact, right? You want everyone to be powered by authenticity. You want everyone to be sharing this and shouting from the rooftops and
Yep.
hiring you to speak, and whatever that is, they're not going to know unless they know about you,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
so we're going to be robbing people every single time we shrink. Every single time we're like, no, maybe we won't share it. Share it, share it, share it, right? And I know I started going to a lot of Grant Cardone's. Love him or hate him. Shout out to Grant Cardone. He has literally changed the game for me when it comes to visibility and confidence, because I used to tell myself, well, I only need to post once a day. He's like, no, be out there, be omnipresent, be so annoying that people can't help but to listen to you, right? Because truth be told, with the algorithm,
Yep.
there's only what
Yeah.
0.0000001% that are actually seeing your message. So keep shouting it out, be consistent. And I'll tell you, that's the one thing that people say about me, Crystal. You are the most consistent, even
Yes.
in the most challenging times. The more consistent and that to me, consistency, maybe not even clarity, just consistency alone breeds the confidence over
Yep.
time, because it amplifies. So I
Yep.
could talk for hours about this, but
Yeah,
it's
and
just,
we're just getting some live feedback via LinkedIn, as well as how much people are enjoying this conversation. So
oh,
so thank you. And it's funny, the word consistency, and isn't that where I say that I fall down on Tuesday, right? Like, life is great on Monday. Tuesday seems to be a failure day. And so what is it? And I try, you're right. More than once a day is the right thing to do, but fitting that in. So, okay, so what can I change from my regular schedule? My 5 a.m. coffees with Hubsters will probably stay, but maybe we won't hash out what we're having for dinner that night. Maybe we'll leave that to office chatter in the morning. It's things like that. So you're correct. And I think I think I love seeing how confident you are, and I love seeing your consistent message, because that just is gonna, everybody wants to have that, right? Like you bring a powerful just positive feeling into the world. And I think, that's something that's amazing to see. And I think consistency, you're right. So yeah,
Yeah, you got
amazing. Amazing. Well, you are fantastic. I can't tell you how, I mean, this has been just amazing. These conversations, to your point, we do not script this. We are getting on. These are just like real raw conversations that we're having. And I think that's the power of having somebody that you can relate to and connect with from a coaching perspective. And so, the workouts for me are very relatable. What's the one where you tap your shoulder? I can't remember what you
shoulder
call it.
taps.
The shoulder tap. they
Mhm.
are they're killing my shoulders, but I tell you, they're fantastic, and you can feel the difference. So
Mhm. The work
yeah,
works when you do the work. One last thing that, as you were speaking about me, and my message, what's interesting and kind of ironic and really awesome is that powered by authenticity, authenticity can breed a confidence too,
that's true. That's
right?
very true.
Because when
Yep.
you are authentic to you, anything is possible. We don't have to
Yeah.
script. We just get to be us.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how cool is that? That's true freedom.
Actually, that's very true. That's an amazing connection that you just made there, and very true. Part of the, you know, I am who I am, and I always tell people that you get what you get. I'm authentic, probably too, in some areas, a detriment, but I can't be any other way, because if I am, I'm I'm acting, and I'm not an actor. I'm a podcaster and an IT chick, and that's what you get. And I just, it puts you in the space where you can, to your point, you can go be anything you want, because you're always going to get and see who I am. So
Mm, so
awesome.
beautiful. I'm so
Uh,
grateful for
I'm grateful for you. I hate to say this, but I'm gonna have to go thank my nephew again. I'm gonna have to buy him a beer.
you. And I'll be in Buffalo for the holidays, so hopefully we get to connect IRL in real life.
That would be amazing. When are you coming in
The
December?
19th to the 28th, yeah, of December. So a
That's
little over a
amazing.
week.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'll be in
We'll have to
Vegas
plan
first for
something.
a conference, and then so I'll need a couple days to kind of recalibrate from Vegas.
Yeah.
But hopefully by Christmas I'll be back up and running. But
Oh,
looking forward
that's awesome. Yeah, and Vegas should be pretty cool right now too, with all of the decorations.
to it.
Very
Yeah.
fun.
Actually
Yay.
attending a retreat. So I'm a
Oh,
guest.
no.
Yeah, so I host retreats, and
Yeah.
I'm actually hosting a private retreat here for the next 2 weeks. And so this is working out really perfectly. That retreat ends on it's the 1st to the 15th of December. And then
Mhm.
I fly on the 17th for my own to be a guest. And I get to
Amazing.
receive all the goodness as a goddess that I am, and then
Yeah,
come back to Buffalo. So it's going to be a really great month. I'm excited.
that's that is amazing. That's great.
Mhm.
I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. Well, hopefully I can get to meet you in person. I'll bring Ricky along and we can have some coffees or something.
I would love that. Yes, yes, yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you for doing week 3 live with me. I enjoy these calls so much, and
Too.
I think I'm sure it's helping others and understand some of the emotions. And when we say shred, it's not just a physical, but there's a very powerful emotional, and just a lot of other things that go with that. And I love the themes. I love this week is confidence. I'm going to remember consistency breeds confidence, and try to get the message out there a little bit more and get over that Tuesday hump.
We can do it. Let me know how I can support you. And if there's anything you need, let me know.
All right. Well, thank you again for being here on Powered by Authenticity. Thank you to those that have provided some amazing feedback live on LinkedIn. I appreciate every single person who takes the time to hop in and to watch our live. And like we said, these are not scripted, so it's really truly heart to heart connections. And I appreciate every single person who takes the time to listen to Powered by Authenticity. Krystalore, I hope you have a fantastic Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.